this live streaming video over to my other social media network. So hold for just a moment. I am back. I am back. Thank you for your patience. Like I double stacked my live streaming this morning on my other social media platforms. Well, welcome to my podcast, Wild Kingdom Wellness. Today is, ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday, and it is the first quarter moon. Today is April the 10th, April the 10th, 2026. The moon herself, so I apologize if I offend anyone. But the moon is precisely in the sign of Capricorn as I speak and do this live streaming video. However, the moon will be in the sign of Aquarius this evening around 7:55 p.m. So we are in a transition day when it comes to moonology. Moonology. So, how's everybody doing? It's been a few days, maybe a week and a half since I've done a podcast. And so I want to be mindful of the fact that I know my subscribers, the people that have been following along with my journey, from a personal and a professional standpoint, understand that I, just like everybody else, y'all, everybody else, have a lot going on behind the scenes. But as someone who is really enjoying the space of podcasting, for my own personal reasons, y'all, like there's a lot going on in the world around us. And I am going to talk about some things today from a few different perspectives. So, if you have not yet liked or subscribed to my Wild Kingdom Wellness podcast, I think you're going to want to do so. I want you all to understand while you view these live streams and you view these replays that I'm just a girl with a camera talking about stuff I see going on in the world, and I never want to offend anyone based on their race, their sexual orientation, their creed, their religion, their political side. Like, that is not why I am doing this Wild Kingdom Wellness podcast. The reason why, ladies and gentlemen, I am doing this Wild Kingdom Wellness podcast is because I want people to realize that we are all, number one, above all, we are all made up of spiritual life force energy. You're not going to get away from it. If you are not an AI bot, BOT, if you're not a bot on this live stream and on these videos, and you're a real human being, and you stick with me at any length for the next few months, you're going to see some things start to transpire in the universe. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, as an astrologer, we got a lot of change coming up in the next 2 weeks. There is a climax. And yes, I used the word climax. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a climax coming to a head when it comes to astrology, what's going on with current world events. Okay, so I want to explain real quick. Turn this computer around to my camera. So for those of you all watching on YouTube, I want you to see that I have astrology pulled up right in front of me. I am looking at this right here, this picture, this image on my computer that I'm showing you all is today's current day astrology. Okay, so right here, we could stop right here and go, this is a whole school of lesson that I'm showing you all on the screen. And for those of you all listening on Apple, iHeart, Spotify, those other audios, guys, I'm holding up my laptop to my screen on my live streaming YouTube, and I'm showing the audience today's current natal chart. Okay, so again, I wanna zoom in close here for just a minute because I want you all to look the people that understand astrology. If you see this visual that I'm showing you right now with today's astrology on April the 10th, 2026, you can look right at this natal chart of today and see all that Aries fire energy coming around the clock, coming around the universe. And guys, this is intense. We have not, I can't tell you how long it's been since we've had an astrological alignment such as what I'm showing you all today. Okay. And we're going to talk about this for a few minutes because I really want you all to understand that I'm not making this shit up. Okay. As a spiritual life coach and astrologer and someone who gives two shits about what's going on in the world around her, y'all, this is big stuff. And I really want people who work in the spiritual realms to understand that this astrology right here where my finger's at, that's Aries, okay? That's the sign of Aries. This is where we are. That's the sun, that little sigil there, the circle with the dot in the middle. Y'all, this is today. And so you can see how many planets, and this is a clock, are cycling around the universe that are currently stationed in the sign of Aries. This is fire war energy. Okay. This is war at its core. Listen to me, humans, ladies and gentlemen, the astrology of today is warfare at its core on a millennial level. Okay. So think about what I just said. I'm showing you all where we're at today in astrology with Mars, Saturn, the Sun, and Chiron all in the sign of Aries right now, as I'm doing this live streaming video. And Mars went into Aries yesterday. Okay. And I don't have time right now to give you all a big picture astrology like 101 on how I know who does what in the sky, what planets affect what signs of the zodiac. You all, I have been studying this stuff for decades. Okay, decades. And I've been very serious about applying astrology to my personal journey. Again, this is how I do wellness. Okay. This is how I do my wellness journey. Is I work in the spiritual realms first every single morning. And what that means for you Christian brother and sister out there, and again, I don't need to mean to be snarky, but for my Christian brothers and sisters out there who are realizing that there is a spiritual war going on in the heavenlies, like it's obvious to me as, someone who reads astrology and as a spiritual life coach, but to my Christian brothers and sisters who keep prophesying about end time stuff, y'all, this is the end of a season. Like I agree with my evangelical brothers and sisters when they talk about apocalyptic energy. Okay, so I'm not so Joshua Garcia 97 something is coming. Oh, honey, please subscribe. Jose, I think it's Jose Garcia 97. Trying to read that right. Something is coming. Yes. Thank you for seeing. Okay, and guys, I will try to pay attention to the chat, but I really want to hit home with you all right now that we want to create an audience with each other. Okay. YouTube is a really great platform for building a community once you build that community, and you can filter through the bullshit on YouTube once you get that algorithm set to follow Wild Kingdom Wellness. Okay. And again, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all you got to do is ask your listening device to play the latest episode of Wild Kingdom Wellness, and you're going to hear the sound of my voice. And we're just going to track stuff, y'all. We're just going to track stuff as we go down this, this path together. But guys, Mars went into Aries yesterday. Okay. Now, anytime a sign of the zodiac goes into a planet goes into the sign of the zodiac. So like Mars cycles through the sky, Earth, we're all here together rotating on the planet, right? Whenever the alignment of the zodiac sign and the planet connect up in the universe, it has meaning, okay? It has aspect, it has a philosophy. There is a way to read astrology that is so simple, and I cannot wait in the future to really like keep feeding you all this information, and this is free advice. Like, I am not charging anybody anything right now to talk about the astrology of the day, but there is an art to looking at this stuff, okay? With Mars and Neptune and Saturn and the Sun and Chiron all in Aries today, an alignment like this, I don't think for like 1,000 years. Like, y'all can quote me on that because I didn't do the research, but this is a rare season. And again, back to what I was saying about my Christian brothers and sisters, you know, we talk about the Armageddon, we talk about the apocalypse, we talk about the book of Revelation, we talk about the end time stories, but we don't pay attention to the astrology and then turn around and align that with the planet and go, oh, well, the reason why we're having this war in Iran right now is because the universe is set up. Guys, listen to me. The universe is set up in a perfect alignment right now to get this action out of the way. And everything I just said to you all in that sentence is fire, Aries, Mars energy. Mars is the planetary ruler of the sign of Aries. Mars is the god of war. If you have any knowledge of mythology at all, then you can go, well, yeah, the god of war is Mars. Okay, in mythology, right? But this stuff tracks you all and it backs right up the bustier, right up the butt of astrology. And you're like, oh, this is fire energy sign. This is new beginnings. You will hear light workers and healers and people who are in the metaphysical world talk about how we have just entered into one, the age of Aquarius, which we have because Pluto is in Aquarius as we speak, okay? But you also have the end of the age of the Piscean energy. And people who talk about turn of Christ, okay? They also in the metaphysical teachings make reference to the end of an era or an age. And Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So, every planet that has mass meaning, and I don't mean every, because Venus is in Taurus right now, but again, all of these big karmatic planets, illusionary planets, warfare planets, spiritual healer. Chiron is in Aries. He is the spiritual warrior of your natal chart. You know, all of this makes sense to me when I step back as a an a previously indoctrinated evangelical Christian who says the book of Revelation is being played out in front of us like a movie. I look at the astrology and I just step back and go, yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. So now that I have that information available to me as a human being who gives a shit about the planet, because I do. I live here. So do you. I look back and go, oh, well, this has to play out on its own. And I then at that point, y'all, as a minister of the healing arts, I don't even step into the fear anymore. Like the fear based energy going on right now, I have let that shit go. Do you hear me? I love you. Holly King, Wild Kingdom Wellness is here to tell you that it's time for us to let that fear mongering shit go. Let it go. Just let it go because it doesn't serve us, especially if you're in the healing community like I am. Okay. It does not serve us to keep stepping into the same fear mongering propaganda bullshit that has been served to us since before I was born. Okay, because everything that we're seeing, you all, happen in front of us as a collective consciousness, it's like we all have been talking about the same thing, that it has to change. And when I mean it, I'm talking about the regimes, that are not serving the people, right? This is an unfolding. This is an unprecedented, prophetic unfolding of universal energy according to astrology, according today. Yep, we're going to tear. this entire system down. We're going to take that Wizard of Oz government curtain, you all, and we're just going to slice it right down, and we're going to peel back into darkness, and we're going to look to see what is really going on in global politics. What is really going on behind the seeds that have been dropped into your psyche and into your brain as a human being? What is really going on when it comes to why we are in this war with Iran? And why in the world are we taking all of this energy? Okay, again, Aries is about energy. Like fire horse energy. Y'all, we're in the fire horse. It's all completely fire energy. What does the element of fire do spiritually? Okay, we're not talking about arson here. Okay, so I'm not talking about, don't go torch anything. Okay, physically, but mentally and emotionally, are you bringing down that fire energy from the sky, from the heavens? Are you going, I'm going to apply this to my mind, I'm going to burn through the bullshit that I have been taught for the last, 50, 60, 70 years, okay? Especially since we started having, the Black Mirror, which is your television and your phone and all your other devices who have been able to feed you propaganda and bullshit, right? But again, the curtain, we're peeling back the curtain, guys. Listen, we're peeling it back. But what is happening right now in the collective consciousness and on Earth and within the universe that surrounds us is we are having a spiritual burnout. Like it's burning to the ground. This is Phoenix rising energy. And for those of you all that don't know me, I'm a double Scorpio. So I have I'm like the 9 lives cats twice. I have 18 lives spiritually to go through in this incarnation. Okay. But guys, it's all falling apart right now in front of us. So but here's the message. Here's the good news of why this has to happen in order for us to move into what again everybody's calling the new earth, or whatever title you want to put on it, with whatever doctrine your pants or panties align with. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the ascension process as we speak. And so it doesn't, I don't know, man. Is Jesus going to crack the heavens open and like completely combust us into a million fragmented pieces and pull our dead, stringy bodies, our, bones out of the grave? Well, if you're evangelical, you're like, yes, he is. God's going to come back. Jesus going to come back on that red horse, that fire horse energy, and he's just going to suck us up out of this realm, and I'm gonna see Granny Beatty again. Like it's like, and that's my grandma's name, y'all, Grandma Betty. But it's like, is all that gonna happen in a twinkling of an eye and a blink? So it could. Like nothing surprises me as a spiritual life coach. Like nothing surprises me. But I look at the logic behind whether or not we could be vacuumed up out of here, and everybody turn into angels or whatever we're going to be when we go to heaven, when Jesus comes back and raptures the shit out of all of us, right? Or are we going to still be like right here tomorrow and the next day going, whoa, maybe heaven is supposed to come down from earth and live inside of me in this very moment. And I can look at astrology and go, well, yeah, I don't have to fight this resistance any longer because I'm looking at what God's doing through astrology. Hello, does anyone hear me? Subscribe. If God is saying to us through astrology and allowing us to see that his or their plan, them, they, him, she, them, whatever the source of oneness is in the world, all the things, Allah, Buddha, Christ, Jesus, Muhammad, Sophia, like whatever you want to call the creator of the universe, like it's all it's all happening at once, okay? It's all coming to a head at once. And so these spiritual holy wars and these physical wars that we're in of the planet, it like this. You just need to be like, oh, it's fine. And I don't mean you bury your head in the sand because we have a maniac running our country. I don't mean to be a bitch, but I'm just saying. And again, I voted for Donald Trump the first time. But the second time I was like, something's gotten into his head. And then I was like, oh, it's Paula White. So anyway, his spiritual advisor. We'll talk about her later. And I don't want to like I'm not gonna slam Paula White. That's not why I'm here. That would not be good consciousness. I'm a Christian. She's a Christian. So I shouldn't say bad things about Paula White. But I'm concerned about her message to our president. And again, do they not know? Do people not know when to? This is so biblical, y'all. Oh my God. I got to stop now. But yes, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about the astrology. We're going to talk about when I think things are going to come to a head, with this warfare energy. And August or April 17th is a huge day, y'all. Again, when all things Aries are going to come to that climactic point in the zodiac. So anyway, now side note, we're coming up on Kentucky Derby season here in the Ville. Okay, so if that tells y'all a little secret where I live, well, then it just is what it is. But I live very close to the Kentucky Derby area in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, now it is one of the biggest events internationally on the planet. Okay, and if I really, really, really wanted to, I could train myself to look at the astrology of the day and go, I wonder if spirit would help me pick a horse this year. Now, y'all, I want you to know for me, as an astrologer, that's a stretch because I have never used this gift to try to like gamble on horses during the derby and go, could I really hone in and hear, see the future and bet, some money on a horse and win. So, and for me, y'all, it probably would not happen. I think the spiritual gift that I have as a healer, God or goddess or whoever's like this lifetime, honey, we're just going to let you think that you're special. But if you want to win $1 million on the Kentucky Derby this year, then through astrology and prediction, then you got a lot of training that you still need to be had as an astrologer. And I was like, okay. But my point is, so many people, y'all, are going to be gambling their money away on May the 2nd, which is a Saturday, which is the first Saturday in May, and be in my city here in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, now it gets wild down here in the Bronx of Louisville. We'll just call it that. I live in the Bronx of Louisville, quote unquote, air quote, Bronx of Louisville. It gets so crazy down here, y'all, when Derby comes along. And I'll tell you what, I've lived down here majority of my life. And there's some things going on in the streets of my city down here by Churchill Downs that would make your average everyday corporate CEO shit in his pants just by viewing the amount of homelessness and houselessness and garbage that this area of town has accumulated since the pandemic. Okay, so Mayor Greenberg, I love you. We should talk. But listen, y'all. If you travel into the city of Louisville, Kentucky, for the all welcome. We are an amazing city. There's so much talent. There's so much untapped talent in Louisville, Kentucky, y'all. It's incredible. It's incredible. Louisville, whatever you want to call it. But we have some serious, serious problems when it comes to the houseless community and the homeless community and the drug use community in the streets. Okay, as I speak, I just want to be very transparent here because I have to see it every day of my life. multiple times a day, and I see these people doing some strange things, sitting on the side of the sidewalk, when I go to and fro my places as a resident of Louisville, Kentucky. Now, have we been working on it as a city? I don't think so. I don't think our city appropriations have really been appropriated for cleaning up the streets of Louisville. We talk about it, don't we, city council? Don't we? We talk about it a lot. But I see it getting worse and worse and worse by the day. And I like to look at things one day at a time, y'all, one day at a time. So I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings here. Again, and politics is a dicey subject. Is a dicey subject, y'all. But I feel as if there are some things we could do to change the bylaws of the city ordinance in order to address the houselessness and the vagrancy and the mental health issues that are on the street here in Louisville, Kentucky. We'll brush it up for the Derby. Yeah, we'll shoo people off. We'll go in. We'll tear down their camps. Like, we'll clean it up just enough to have people fly in from all over the world, to visit the Kentucky Derby first Saturday in May. We'll we'll spit shine it up a little bit, y'all. Okay. But as soon as Derby week, the 2 weeks surrounding Derby is over, you're going to see another big boost of people come out because it's going to be real hot and be sitting on the streets doing things they do not need to be doing. And uh, my concern as a taxpaying citizen is that we have children, massive amounts of children growing up in the neighborhoods that surround Churchill Downs. Okay. And these kids are being exposed to some pretty debaucherous shit. And that's the word I'm going to use in the moment because that's what comes to me through the Holy Spirit. It's debauchery. It's also mental illness. So you got a couple different factors here going on when you're dealing with our houseless and our homeless community and our mentally ill who are street walking. Okay, again, terms. But y'all, I really have some ideas that I feel as if we could get some healers and community to collaborate with our city ordinances, you know, people like massage therapists, stuff like that, who see the human body condition every day. Just a side note there, y'all. And again, I'm not going to talk about a whole lot of like things I'm upset with right now when it comes to our city ordinances. But I got some ideas. I have some ideas. And y'all, I might come across as some really uneducated woman because I have a Kentucky accent. But I assure you, y'all, I assure you, if you stay with me long enough through this Wild Kingdom Wellness podcast, you will realize how highly intelligent that I really am as a human being and as a woman. And y'all, I'm in prayer. I am in so much prayer when it comes to getting out there and volunteering, with organizations to go, there's got to be a better way to get these people off the street. There has to be. Because y'all, what I see is the same people every day for, you know, years. It's the same people sitting on the street on the same corner, you know, stepping out in front of traffic at the end of the exit ramps, which I know Kentucky says has a bill somewhere in Senate. So if any of my senator friends want to watch this from Kentucky, somehow a bill got passed or got into your chamber about making panhandling on the side of an expressway ramp illegal. And I hope it passes. Again, I got to figure out how to get more community involved when it comes to like change in our society. And again, it just drives me crazy because I see all of these different things going on in the world around me and I go, I'm just one little woman. I'm just one woman, middle-aged woman, just trying to make sense of my own life and go, Wait a minute, nothing makes sense. We're in an upside down world." But I do think throughout the rest of this year, God willing, and I'm still alive, that I'm really going to pray about how I can get involved in community projects to go, let's address the mental illness, the street homelessness, the houselessness. Let's address it block by block, right? And let's start taking a census of the people who are panhandling or are mentally ill or harming themselves. Okay. When it comes to drugs, alcohol, sex abuse, all that stuff. Like, you got to start putting identity back into their lives. Okay. And I mean that genuinely. Like, you almost, everyone, if we, let's say we have 5,000 3 to 5,000 homeless people in Louisville, Kentucky. And don't get mad at me because I say homeless. Like, don't do that with me because I will not respond. They are what they are. And no, some of them have homes. You're right, absolutely. And some of them are just out there because, that just they're stuck. But y'all, I see this every day, and I watch these men and women get younger and younger when it comes to sitting on the streets and shooting a needle in their arm, and looking like they haven't eaten a sandwich in 6 years. Like, it's sad, y'all. And I'm going to figure out how I get involved. I don't know what that looks like because I'm just a girl that lives paycheck to paycheck like everybody else. I just paid out several hundred thousand, or not thousand, several $100, in taxes to my local and state agencies because of my independent LLC, of which I just closed, by the way. We'll talk about that later. But y'all, do you see me? Sorry about the glare. Y'all, listen to me. There is a different way of addressing this issue. And I don't know where my role is in this city council process. But I do know it's coming. It's coming because I have a lot of Libra in my chart. And y'all, it's so bad down in the Churchill Downs area where I live that it just pisses me off to see us clean the streets up long enough to let the millionaires come in and spend all their money, at the track while we gamble the horses. But yet here we are. After all you rich people leave, we still have, like all major cities, a, a houseless, homeless, mentally ill epidemic living in our suburban areas or our urban areas. So, if you know, you know. That is all. I'm going to stop there. Remember, none of this is meant to be spiritual, physical, mental, or emotional clinical advice. I'm not telling you to do what to do with your body, your mind, your spirit, but I'm just sharing my own personal journey here with you all on Wild Kingdom Wellness. And so, if you would like to subscribe, you want to hype this channel. I don't know if I can do that yet on YouTube, but we'll try. But follow me on Apple, Spotify, follow me on iHeartRadio. As long as I have a breath and a voice in my body, I'm going to talk about the things that I see going on in the world around me. And I'm going to do it with love, a little catharticism, but, I'm going to call a spade at this point. Okay. And what we got going on in the upper levels of government is not what we have going on in the mid and lower levels of government. Like, I still think we got good people who care about, good politicians out there who care about their people. So, and I'm again from Kentucky. So, y'all need to be looking out for Andy. He's Andy Brashear, y'all. And again, I'm not on one side or the other, but if you don't know who Andy Brashear is, that's our governor. And the one thing I can say about Andy Brashear, he does have a podcast. And I think he's kind. I think he's a nice man. He articulates words well. But if he's going to win this presidential race, then he might want to look at this fire horse energy going on in astrology and figure out how to like remap his campaign. So that is all. I love you all. Live the dream. Remember, like and subscribe, and we will chat soon. We'll see you later. Have a great day. All right. Bye.